Hello everyone and good evening. Let's see who's joining us today. There it is. Okay. I found it. Oh, hello, Miss Sherry. I thought you were going to have to do the replay. Let's see if it... Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you could make it. Let's see. Okay, well, hello, Miss Betty. How are you? So glad you could make it. We're going to give everybody a couple more minutes to join us. Oh, hello, Barb. Excuse me. Glad you could make it. And Miss Nancy's here. Yay. All right. Donna. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for sharing. Hi, Mom. Glad you could make it. And I do appreciate any shares. Let's see. I'm going to share it to my groups, my team, and my VIPs. There we go. Okay, we're good. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate you sharing it also. Hey, Robin, glad you could make it. Yay. All right, we're getting a good crew on. Hello, 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 everyone. So glad you could pop in. Hello, Gwendolyn. Thank you for joining. So glad you could make it. Sue, so glad you're here. All right, good. We're getting a great crew on. Wonderful. Couple housekeeping tips first, just some fill-ins here. I do want to remind everyone I do have my From My Heart class to go available. I will have more posted. I hope I have it going out in my newsletter this week, but it is available. There are 3 options for this class. Option number 1 is to just order the class. It's $29 plus $8 shipping. And with that, you get a half a pack of the From My Heart Designer Series paper that will be cut 12 by 6. You'll also get a full package of the real, the heart doilies, and you'll get a full roll of the 3/8 inch double stitch satin ribbon. And that again is $29 plus $8 shipping. You'll also get all of the materials cut, scored, punched for all the pieces for the projects. And you're going to do 6 total projects. You'll also get the envelopes for the cards. The other option for that class is just go right to my website and you purchase the entire suite, which is, I believe, around $88. That's right here. This whole suite, you use this item code, which is the 153931. It's $88.25. You get everything on this page, and I will send you all the materials to make the 6 projects for free. There's no shipping. You're just go on, you order the suite, and then I just sent you all of the class materials for free, which would be all of the cardstock, pre-cut, scored. You would just cut your own designer series paper. Of course, you would have your ribbon and everything, so you would have everything ready to go. But you'll have all the measurements and you'll need and whatnot, plus the PDF instruction sheet. Option number 3 is if you just want me to send you the PDF. That will be $15, and then you would purchase whatever you wanted to do for the class. You cut your own cardstock and whatnot. Okay, so those are the 3 options for that class. I did close my paper share. I'm waiting for the materials to come. I'll get everything cut and set out. However, if anybody is interested, if I can get 4 people who are interested, I am willing to do another paper share, but I will need a minimum of 4 interested parties to split that paper up. That's $31 per share plus $8 shipping if I need to ship it to you. If you're local, I will be more than glad to get it to you. We can meet up, or I can drop it off, or you can pick it up from me. Either of those options work. But if you are not local and I have to send it, it is $8 shipping, because I do use priority mail padded envelopes to make sure everything gets to you. Hi, Sherry Baker. Glad you could make it. So anyway, if you can come up with 4 people who are interested, I'd be more than glad to do another paper share. But I'm hoping my current paper share that is closed, everything will arrive this week, and I will get everything in the mail early next week for those who I have to mail, otherwise delivered, or we'll meet up for everybody else. It is celebration time, so if you do order the class, or I should say if you order the suite, that does qualify you automatically for a celebration item. Just as an FYI. So that's always good, because we all know there's lots of goodies here in the celebration. So awesome. Okay, so enough about that. On to today. First, I want to announce our winners of last week's prize patrol. Let me get those out. Winner number 1 is Lori Brooks. Lori happens to be one of my downline. If anybody sees Lori pop on, let her know she is a winner. Then we have winner number 2 is our own Nancy Woji. Congratulations, Nancy, on... Thank you, Sue. I appreciate you sharing that. Nancy is our number 2 winner. So, Nancy, congratulations. So, tonight I have 2 more prize patrols. Prize patrol number 1, somebody will randomly win the package of the butterfly paper. This is leftover from last year's celebration, if you recall. Hello, Miss June. Thank you for joining. Glad you could make it. And prize number 2 is a package of these beautiful holiday rhinestone basic jewels. These are gorgeous, and these are available for random prize patrol. Okay, tonight's projects. We're going to make this cute little cake cup holder. We're using the Peaceful Poppies. We're going to make this cute card, which actually, this was one of the cards that we made at Onstage. So I'm going to make it along with you. I just did a little extra pieces with it. We didn't do the envelope and we didn't do the inside at Onstage. I just happened to play around and added a little extra. And then we also have this sweet but simple card and envelope using the Peaceful Poppies Suite. Okay, I want to bring in my catalog real quick, so I'm going to show you this Peaceful Poppies Suite real quick. And you also have an opportunity to assist me in meeting a challenge issued by Stampin' Up! For demonstrators. If we can sell a total of 4, which my set counted as 1, so I just need to sell 3 more of the Peaceful Poppy stamp sets, which is this stamp set right here. Here's the bigger picture of it right here. If I can sell 3 more of those, I will earn a free stamp set out of the new upcoming annual catalog come June. So if anybody's interested, I have to sell them by February 15th. If you are interested in purchasing and you want to use this here host code, that would be greatly appreciated. This stamp set is $23. But I will tell you the dies that go with it are fabulous. And there's an entire suite of product that we are using tonight. It is a double stamp set. So this is more of a pricey suite. So I understand if nobody wants to purchase the whole suite. You want to piecemeal it. But there's two beautiful stamp sets and they do marry perfectly together. This beautiful Whisper White crinkled seed binding ribbon. Gorgeous. We're going to use that tonight. The sequins. There's these Peaceful Poppy elements. We're going to use those. The gorgeous paper. These are all of the coordinating colors. If you love color, this designer paper is going to definitely float your boat because there's a ton of color in there. And those of you who are doing the paper share, you are going to get a good selection of that paper, so you'll get to play with it and see how gorgeous it is. Okay, but here's the two stamp sets here on these two pages. So that's why they marry together. One's beautiful imagery, the other has the beautiful sentiments, and then they both have beautiful dies. Okay, on to the projects. We're going to start first with our little K-cup holder. This makes a cute little office gift or just a little something for somebody. And I just put on here on the back here, these are the moments we look back on with joy, and did the little element. This is one of the elements from the package here. These are those elements I was just talking to you about. These are beautiful. You have some vellum pieces back here. Let me see. That you can watercolor on or just layer. Then there's some actual watercolor pieces here. This is watercolor paper with white embossing or clear embossing. So you could do the, like a how do I want to say? The resist techniques with watercolor. They're already die cut, so they just pop out. So very beautiful. And like I said, here's the vellum pieces. Then there's some like black, almost like chalk board pieces, but it's got the clear embossing on them as well. And then there's these colored, they're very thick, heavy white paper, but these pop right out. They're die cut and gorgeous and make for easy embellishments on your projects. So I'm going to set those aside here, and we're going to start with our little K-cup holder. I'm going to get all my pieces. Let's see. Where did I? Ah, here it is. Okay. So what I have is I actually have a half sheet of old olive cardstock. I have a scrap piece of Whisper White for my die cut piece in the back. I have 2 pieces of the Designer Series paper, and these are measured at 3 5/8 by 2 inches. I have one of my little elements that I popped out, and I have one of the circle dies from my Layering Circles die collection, and it is the one that fits here, so that would be my 3rd smallest. So this would be the smallest, 2nd smallest, this is the 3rd smallest. So I'm going to set that there. And I'm going to bring in my trimmer. Okay, so hopefully I got this where you can see it. I've got a delay on my side, so bear with me. I want to make sure I have things where you can see them. Okay, now I can see. All right, we're going to start by putting it with the short edge along the top, and we're going to score it on both sides at 7/8 of an inch. So we're going to get right there. So it's almost an inch, but we're at 7/8. And we're going to score down both sides. We're going to turn it all the way around and put it at 7/8. Okay. So now we're going to turn it to the long side. And we're going to do some more scoring. I have to pull out my arm so we have the full length. Let's get that over like so. Make sure I'm still in so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so now we're going to score it 2 1/8. So we're going to find the 2 1/8 mark right there. And we're going to bring in our cutting blade. Oop, and we're going to put it on that score line and pull it down. Put it up here. I will tell you, I got this pattern from 𝗖𝗿𝗱𝗀𝗪. She did it with a paper pumpkin kit with some paper pumpkin cards, but I decided to just change it up and use the painted poppies. All right, so now we're going to go to 4 1/4. So there's our 4 1/4. We're going to again score and then bring our blade in, cut up, get it on that right there, bring it down. Move this up to 5 1/8. So that would be right there. Again, score. Cut up. Down. Then we're going to go to 7 1/4, which would be right there. And we're going to do the same thing. Oh, hey, Mary Kay. We're making a cake cup holder. And finally, we're going to go to the 1 1/8, but we're not going to score. We're just going to make little cuts, and I'll show you what we're going to do. So we're going to go to the 8 1/8, which is right there. And then we're going to just bring it to that score line right there, pull it down to the score line and go up. Okay, so now we're going to pull this out. And we need our paper snips. Okay, so we're going to cut off these long rectangles here. Then down here, we're just going to cut it an angle and cut those little ends off. Then on these little tabs that we've created right here, we're just going to do a little mitering on them as well. And same thing on these ends. Yeah, right to the score lines. You're cutting right to the score lines that intersect. Okay, Barb? So you're going to have the 7/8 inch score lines, and then when you're making these little cuts, you're only going to that score line, no further on both sides. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and fold in all of our tabs here, and I'm just going to grab my bone folder. Do you hear Tucker He's downstairs playing with Daddy, so they're roughhousing, and I hear a little barking, so I apologize. Okay, so I have all of my folding done. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply my designer paper here. How this box is going to go together is I should show you that first. And this actually bends forward. All of these tabs fold in. Oops. And then these two tabs fold back like so, and this attaches like that. So these designer paper pieces are going to go along the top here and here. So we're going to go ahead and attach those because it is easier to attach them when they're sure. I don't know why that doesn't want to roll. So we're just going to go ahead and center. That wasn't very good. There we go. All right. Then we need the second piece. There it goes. For some reason I'm not getting that straight. There we go. All right, now we're going to run this through our die cutting machine with the circle die, and I am kind of moving it off to the left edge to run it through. So we're going to get that down. I'll actually bring this over so you can see how I've got this in here. So I've sandwiched this between, I've got my magnetic plate, I have an acrylic plate, the paper's down, the die's on top, oops, and another plate. So we're just going to run that through. And I'm left with a little piece there. And here's our holder. So now I'm going to put a piece of the tear and tape right along this edge I created here when I made that little miter cut. Yes, I will post all of the dimensions. If I don't get to it tonight, it'll definitely be there tomorrow. And it'll be in the description of the video. Now I'm putting it on the tabs here where the die cut circle is. Now I'm going to flip it over, and then I'm just going to put a piece down on these little tabs on the outside. Just like so. Okay. Okay, so now I'm just gonna grab, I have my take a pick tool. I have the stylus, scoring stylus in it, so I just use this sometimes. Loose. It works. I'm just going to peel up the adhesive backing. Oop. I want the adhesive to stay down though. Okay, so now I'm just gonna fold these tabs in and attach like so. Make sure everything lines up nicely, just like that. Now we have these two ends, and I have this one that's still on the back here. I haven't peeled that up yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and peel that up, and you'll see how this just sits down in like so. And you lean that up against like that and just adhere it down. See how that goes? Now I just have these little tabs here on the sides. That folds down like so. And that folds like so. All right, so see how your K-cup fits right in there and sits down perfectly. Then we're gonna take our little element here that I punched out of that cardstock there. And I need just a couple of dimensionals. And it's just going to sit there on the front, just like that. Then for the back, I'm going to bring in that scrap of white that I had. And is this the one? No. I need the Peaceful Moments stamp set, and I'm using the one that says these are the moments. And I think this is the one. These are the moments. This is the one. I got Memento black ink. Okay, and we're just gonna stamp that right there. It's a little crooked, but that's okay. It's not a problem. We have, this is the Painted Labels dies, and this bundles with the Peaceful Poppies, and they have these awesome labels and these elements. These cut out the poppies, the leaf, and then you just have some real fun label pieces. And we're using this one that has that ticket shape. So we're just gonna get it on there so that our sentiment looks straight. You'll never know that I stamped it a little crooked. And I do want it slightly off center because we are gonna stamp What could you use as alternatives to the K-cup? Huh. Yeah, Robin, those might work. I'd have to check that. It would depend on how big you made your die cut circle. You might have to go a little bit bigger, which there is enough room to go a slightly larger. Okay, so there's our die cut piece, and you'll notice there is an embossed ridge around there, so it has a little extra frame. So you actually could do some sponging on that and get a little more coverage and see that embossed ridge a little more. Oh, Sue, yeah, those little EOS lip balms would fit in there. You might have to go a little bit smaller on your circle for that, but that'd be real cute. Same thing for the Ferrero Rochers, Nancy. Make your hole a little smaller, and that would work perfectly. Oh, Sherry Baker, that's a great idea. The little terracotta pots would be perfect. You ladies are rocking the ideas here. Okay, so now we're going to stamp. Where did I put it? Here it is. Our poppy. Let's see, so we want our poppy. And we're going to put the sentiment away because I need that block for the splotch. Okay, so we're going to bring in our poppy and our black ink. So again, we're using our black Memento ink. Stamp it on there. You guys are coming up with some great ideas. I love it. But yes, make your hole match whatever it is you want to pop in there, and you're good to go. All right, I got Poppy Parade ink. Ink that up good. And what I like about this stamp is it has a watercolor look without any effort. So it's not made to line up perfectly. You're just gonna splotch it on there. Put that in. Put that in. Then we're going to take the coordinating die. We're going to line that up and run it through the Big Shot. So again, I'm still using my magnetic platform. Just getting the die to line up. And run it through. Just like so. And again, like I said, this is not meant to be a perfectly aligned, so you're going to have some white splotches from stamping it because it is that watercolored look. So now we're going to take and add some adhesive to the die cut piece. I'm just going to line that up back here. A dimensional or two. I like 2. And just put that on the back. So there we have our K-cup holders. Okay, set those aside. So those are done. The next thing we're going to do is our little card here. And this is a simple card. And I'm using one 6x6 piece of the Designer Series paper. And I actually took that from the pack that you get if you sign up as a demonstrator. It is your free pack of sampler pack. It comes with all these different patterns. So I decided to use that, and I'm using just one sheet, and I'm using the stinking cute little trimmer that you get when you sign up too. So first thing I did is I know for the flap of my envelope, what did I do with that? I have my envelope. I have my pieces. Okay, so I know with the flap of my envelope, I need a 2 1/4 inch piece. So bring in my 6x6, and I'm going to chop off a 2 1/4 inch piece of the paper so that I have my flap. Okay, so there's my envelope piece. And you want that to be 6 inches long, because you want that little bit of extra, and then you can go to town and trim around it. Okay, I'll show you how we're going to do that. So now that leaves me with a piece that is about 3 3 3/4. Yes, that leaves me a piece that's 3 3/4 by 6 inches. Well, my card base is only 5 1/2. Okay, so I want to chop off, I want to make it 5 1/4. So I'm just going to use my trimmer and trim off that bit. So now it's going to layer onto my piece of basic black, which measures 5 1/4 by 4. Yep. And I didn't trim off enough here. I want it to be 5 inches. Ha ha. So I did want a whole inch off it. There we go. So now it lines up and layers perfectly. Okay. So we're going to go ahead. I'm just going to use my liquid glue tonight. So we're going to go ahead and center that onto our basic black. I have a piece of thick Whisper White. This measures 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. I scored it already at 4 1/4, and I have my bone folder. And I'm just going to give it a good crease. The extra thick Whisper White does need some good pressing with your bone folder. Now I'm going to bring in that seam binding ribbon, the crinkle seam binding ribbon. Love this stuff. It's so pretty, and it's actually very easy to work with. And I'm going to wrap it around twice. It's thin enough that you can actually get away with it. Usually I only do the wrapping like that when I'm using baker's twine, but this is a thin enough ribbon that's light and airy enough that you can get away with it with this. Bringing in my tweezers. You know, when I'm tying bows, I love my tweezers. Do not tie a bow without them. You got the mini cutter, Barb? Good for you. They're handy, especially when you've got little bits to cut. Ooh. There we go. Get my ribbon scissors. There we go. Okay. Love this ribbon. Anyway, okay, so we're good there. So now we're going to bring in more glue, and we're going to glue this down. There we are. I love this poppy parade, or this poppy, Peaceful Poppy paper. Love it. Okay, so now I am going to take a scrap piece of black, and I'm going to bring in, again, the Peaceful Moments stamp set, and I want the one that says, thinking of you with all my heart. And that one is right here. I'm going to mount that, and I'm going to bring in my Versamark ink pad. I'm going to ink that up, but before I do that, I'm getting ahead of myself. I need my embossing buddy. And rub that all down. That'll take all the oils from my fingers, any static on the paper. So when I do pour my embossing powder on, it should only stick to where I'm stamping. Okay, so we want that. I'm going to bring in my embossing powder. Okay. So good there. Now I'm just going to heat my tool up for a minute. I do like to let my tool heat up for a second because then I get less warping of my paper. Hey Donna, you made it back. Great. We're just working on our card here. All right, so that should be warm enough. And then I can just bring it to my paper. And I'm just going to watch for the powder to melt, and it's already starting. So this is working very quickly. There we are. Just like so. Then I'm going to bring in, here's another die set that I think is worth its weight in gold that's in the new mini catalog. It's called the Stitched So Sweetly dies. They do bundle with a set, but if you have to make choices, definitely get this. Especially if you have already the layering rectangles. These do work with those. But in this particular one, I'm just using the second to the smallest. We're going to die cut that out. Now, of course, any one of these would have worked, these little label dies in the Poppy set, but I just love these little stitched scalloped rectangles. So, I'm going to cut this out quickly. And there we have it. So then what I'd like to do with this is I need my black dimensionals. And I'm going to stick one there in that corner and one down in that corner, and that way they're straddling the ribbon. Just like so. So cute. Okay, so next we need our envelope to coordinate with our card to make it a full set. And again, I apologize if you're hearing Tucker be his mouthy little self down there. I've got my door shut, but he's still, I think he's trying to get Daddy to play with him, and I think he's ignoring him is what's happening. And Tucker will not be ignored. Anyone who knows Tucker knows he will not be ignored. Okay, so we have our piece applied here. We need our snips. And then you're just going to trim around like so. And there you have a cute card and envelope that coordinate. Okay, well, we're moving right along here. All right, so we're gonna set those aside and on to, I call this the on-stage card. Oops, an envelope. So I wanna show you what we did at on stage. I loved this card so much that I decided to reproduce it for you guys. So what I have here is I have a card base of Poppy Parade, and then of course it's your standard 8.5 by 5.5, scored 4 1/4. Okay, then of course I have an envelope in here that we're going to decorate. I have a Whisper White piece for the inside of the card that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. I have a piece of Designer Series paper. I forget that measures. I didn't write it down and I don't remember. It is 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. Then we have another piece. This one is 2 inches by 3 1/2. And then I have a piece of Whisper White. This is 1 1/2 by 3 inches. I do remember that part. Okay. First thing we need is our painted poppy. We need the big bloom here. We're also going to need the leaf. And we're going to need Poppy Parade ink. We're going to set all these other pieces aside for a minute. And we're just going to ink up. And we're just going to randomly stamp like so. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but it's stamped on there. Okay, so we're gonna clean this one off. Yeah, I'm a messy stamper today. Okay, now we need the leaves. So we're just gonna go in and add a leaf here, a leaf there, a leaf here, there, there, and there. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay. Set that aside for now. Now we're going to bring in our designer paper pieces. And the thing with these pieces is they don't go down all nicey nice. Well, this one does. This one's nice and straight. Like about there. This one, not so much. Okay. So we're just gonna get a little wonky here. Just like that. Then we're going to get the happy birthday out of the Peaceful Moments. And that's right here. Let's see. We're going to use basic gray instead of black. And we're going to right about there. There we go. Okay, now this piece, I'm gonna tear the bottom off, like so. Now we're gonna do some fun stuff here. I gotta find my ribbon. Here it is. I already made a mess out of this, but let's try to keep it a little bit somewhat clean here. We're gonna bring in my scrap. And I need, let's see, if I were to tie, how much do I want? Let's go with that. Okay. I got my little splatter already mounted here, and I'm going to bring in my old olive ink pad. Watch what we do here. See that splatter? I'm just gonna on that ribbon. Hey Mary, glad you could join us. So there's my ribbon. So now I'm going to go ahead, get rid of that, bring back our piece here. We're going to tie this down. And let's see, we need those tweezers again because you know, can't tie a bow without them. Should have kept those tails a little bit longer, I guess. Okay, there we go. I got it. I feel like I'm all thumbs tonight, making bows. Okay, there we are. Then we're just going to go ahead and add a little adhesive. Just like so. Get that bow just a little bit. There, that's better. Okay, so there's my bow. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead. I got my inside Whisper White piece. And I'm going to do the long flower here. And we're going to go ahead with our basic gray. And I'm just gonna stamp that here. Then I need my inside sentiment. Did I have it the right way? That says, wishing you every happiness the special day will bring. So we close that up. And we're going to bring back our Poppy Parade and our splatter. Oh, thank you, Donna. I'm glad you like them. So there's that. Then I have my little Post-it note. Because I don't want to splatter everything. I just want a little bit on that little bud. Like so. Set that aside. Clean this up because I need my old olive again. And we're just going to hit that leaf. Set that aside. Again, adhesive. We're going to get this on the inside of our card here. So there's our inside. Now we need to do our envelope to coordinate. So again, bring back that basic gray. We're just going to do the edge of our envelope like so. Poppy Parade with our splatter. Post-it note. Just hit that bud. Take our stamp. We're going to switch again to Old Olive. And hit the stem again, or the leaf. That finishes that card. you, Nancy. Like I said, this one can't take any claim for that one other than the inside that in the envelope. The outside, that was designed actually by our friends at Stampin' Up. And this card is not done yet. I just realized I did not do the sequins yet. Where did I put them? They're there. So there is one more touch we need to add to this card on the front. And that would be our little sequins. So I'm going to take a little bit of my liquid glue, and I'm literally just putting just tiny little dabs. Get it out here. There we go. Tiny little dab. Tiny little dab. And a tiny little dab. Then I have these beautiful sequins. These are the Peaceful Poppies sequins. They are beautiful. Look at those. Just all sorts of color and gorgeousness. I'm going to bring in my Take a Pick tool. And I'm going to pick up a sequin and lay it down. Oop, I don't want two, I just want there we go. Some of these sequins are actually flower shaped. They're just so pretty. Put the cover back on. Okay, now that card is officially complete. Oh, thank you, Robin. I'm glad you like them. So today we did these 2 card designs. And then, of course, we have our little K-cup holder. And I'm just going to grab the other K-cup so we have them both. Both put together. I like K-cup holders. Usually they're bigger, but these ones I thought were perfect because they only use a half a sheet of cardstock to do. So thanks to Rachel from the Artful Stamper, or Stamp Your Art Out. That's her title. Stamp Your Art Out. She figured out the dimensions for that, and I love it. Well, thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. Thanks, Mira. I'm glad you like them, Robin. I appreciate that. So, again, if anybody is interested in the Peaceful Poppies set, like I said, I would love to be able to sell 3 of them and meet the challenge that was set by Stampin' Up for us demonstrators. But if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I am available. You can always email me at katrinascreativeheart@gmail.com, or obviously you can message me right here on Facebook. Oh, good, Mary. I'm so glad you like the projects. I will have all of the dimensions of the card dimensions, as well as the scoring instructions for the little K-cup holders. I will have posted here on the description of the video by tomorrow night at the very latest. Okay, everyone, I hope you all have a wonderful night. Again, thank you for hanging out with me. And if you have any questions about any of these projects, please let me know. Thanks. Have a great night, guys. Bye.